hard for us to think back and imagine what life was like in Boston in 1916. So the Boston Red Sox had just won the World Series for the third time in 4 years. A gentleman from Roxbury, Paul Dudley White's hometown, had just won the Boston Marathon, and Paul Dudley White had gotten back from London and decided to start and been asked to start a cardiac unit at the Massachusetts General Hospital, really the birth of a new field in medicine at a time when we were just learning to do electrocardiograms with people's feet in buckets of water to trace their electrical activity of the heart. So a very different time, and it's remarkable to think what has transpired in the 100 years since then. It's really remarkable to think about the progress that we've made both clinically and on the research fronts, clinical research and basic investigation, and in terms of training our future leaders of cardiology.
Well, it was a tremendous honor for me to serve as chief of the division from 2001 to 14 before handing over the reins to Tony in 2015. Outside of my office when I was the chief, there were two large pictures. One was a portrait of Paul Dudley White, and right next to him was a picture of Roman DeSanctis. And every day when I came into work, those two gentlemen, really giants, were looking over what we were doing. I think they set the bar very high for all of us.
I loved the clinical cardiology as an intern and a resident, and as a fellow. There were 7 of us. We played poker every Friday night after we had wine, after we read the electrocardiograms. What we did at the CVRC was to bring together PhD basic scientists with physician scientists who wanted to engage in that direction and publish work that in many cases was at the forefront of fundamental biology.
The National Institutes of Health, and certainly the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute is really indebted to the tremendous scientific leadership of Paul Dudley White, who was instrumental in really the founding of the progenitor of the NHLBI, at that time the National Heart Institute. We appreciate and are indebted to you as a nation for your scientific leadership and how you've contributed to advances in our understanding of prevention and treatment of cardiovascular disease. Thank you so much for your contributions, and we look forward to a next century of partnership and ongoing breakthroughs.
Now, my own mentor when I was beginning my career in cardiology has often said that as he's gotten older, the thing that he takes the greatest pride in is the accomplishments of the fellows that he's trained. And I can personally say that nothing could be more true.
I mean, as Dean of Harvard Medical School, obviously the Mass General is one of our great centers, and the cardiologists are among our superstars. We're greatly proud and honored to be associated with this distinguished faculty.
As I think of my career as a physician, as a clinician, as a researcher, I think back about the MGH and its role, and I can hardly congratulate this particular team of physicians and researchers enough for the enormous contributions that they've made to the care and the well-being of patients with cardiovascular disease.
Well, I continue to feel that cardiology is one of the great fields of medicine. As we all know, medicine changes and fields change, but I think cardiology is going to be increasingly important for many, many years to come. There's so many more things that can be done in a minimally invasive way as opposed to heart surgery, which is my field. I think they have a great future. And during my residency, I did get to know Dr. White and found him to be such an absolutely wonderful doctor and wonderful human being.
So one of the other wonderful aspects of our institution is that we've always had a team approach to the care of the patients, and I think that derives from our focus on the care of the patient as being the most important thing. And we know that patients get better care when the physicians and all care team members function together as a cohesive team.
I mean, great organizations exist because of great people, and so it is the people who have made MGH and MGH cardiology the success that it is. But there's something that endures, beyond individuals. It's the commitment that individuals have to one another, and I think The most striking thing about MGH is that people have very high expectations of one another.
I admire Mass General Cardiology tremendously. As long as I've been a cardiologist, the Mass General has always been the epitome of outstanding patient care, but really expanding that excellence into research and education as well. Its legacy is world-renowned for training the best cardiologists in the world, and those cardiologists going on to be fabulous leaders. It's also known for its excellence in research and research advances that have really contributed significantly to our care of patients.
I want to congratulate everyone who's here. I think the culture and the camaraderie of the people who take care of patients with heart disease at the MGH is remarkable. I think the fact that so many of our trainees have gone on to be leaders in cardiac centers throughout the country is something we can also be extraordinarily proud of. Congratulations to MGH Cardiology on its 100th anniversary.
His legacy lives on because Massachusetts General Hospital still provides so much of the leadership for American and worldwide cardiology. We continue to look at you as leaders in American and worldwide cardiology to help teach us how best to take care of patients.
100 years ago, James Michael Curley was mayor of Boston, the Red Sox won the World Series, and Mass General was the leading hospital in the city and the world. Some things change and some things stay the same. The legacy of Paul Dudley White remains strong in the work of doctors, nurses, and staff, in the miracles that happen at the cardiac unit, and in the hope that you provide for patients and families. So from all the people of Boston and from my friends and family that you have treated and helped, thank you. Congratulations on this milestone. I wish you all the best for the next 100 years.
And I'm sure that if Dr. White could be with us tonight, and perhaps he is, he would be able to look down upon the work that you all have done and the progress that you've made and be enormously proud. On this night, we can all look back with thanks for what we inherited. We can look forward with optimism for the future. And we can take pride in all of that we've accomplished and contributed. And we can say, without any reservation, well done.
We're here, of course, for the last 100 years to celebrate this incredible centennial. But I think we're really here for the next 100 years. We're here as a reminder to set our goals high and make sure that we support all of our individual faculty, our trainees, our staff to contribute and succeed in achieving those goals. And to remember, I think, something that is fundamental to who we are, which is in the end, it is really about caring for our patients.